Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you make sure you're subscribing because we want to try to get to 3,000 before May. That means we've got 16 days to get somewhere around 500 subscribers. So I need you guys to go ahead and start subscribing. People that follow me on Facebook, people that watch this on Facebook, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Tell your people to subscribe. Between the people I know that follow me on Twitter and the people that I know that follow me on Facebook and wherever else, I know most of you are not following the YouTube channel. And I know that because you just watch it in the places that you watch it. But there's so much more that I do than just this Talk Spicy podcast. And the only place to find all of it is on the YouTube channel. So please make sure that you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. That is how you can support. I haven't asked for any money. I do have some merch drops coming soon, but I haven't asked for any money. But what I would ask for is for you to support the channel. You know, I was thinking about how many times in a day I write out a tweet or a response to someone else's tweet or an email, and I write it out, I look over it and go, this is hate, and I delete it. See, I don't think anybody is immune or anybody is above hating. I think that's a natural thing. We hate on stuff. Like, it's okay. But the problem is when you push that hate on someone else. Anybody familiar with transference? I'm going to just assume that you're not, because I don't have any other way to do this, right? I'm just going to assume that you're not familiar with transference. But transference is a situation where the feelings, desires, and expectations of one person are redirected and applied to another person. This could take form in so many different ways that it's almost impossible to say, yeah, it's happening, or no, it's not happening. What I'll say is this. One thing that I've tried to be better about is not pushing my feelings, thoughts, and desires onto other people. Now, I don't mean I don't share my feelings, but I don't want it to be a situation where I'm pushing negative things on other people. I do this because it doesn't actually help anything. Like when you finally see your final product, or when you see the fruits from it, it's usually nothing comes out of it other than you've now made someone else feel the way that you want to feel, or that you feel. And if that feeling is a negative feeling, then did you really help the world, or did you hurt the world? I'm not perfect by any means. I have hateful thoughts. I have hater thoughts. I have situations where I disagree wholeheartedly with people. And the only time that I usually allow those disagreements to come to light is when I feel that it can be a conversation that can be had, as opposed to just screaming at the world, as opposed to just a back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to get beyond arguing. We have to get beyond arguing for the sake of argument, and get to discussion that can be had to either like positively or negatively affect things. Like, we want to work to the positive side, but if there's a negative outcome that unexpected, then that's what it is. See, I'm not going to tell you I don't like confrontation. I have a podcast called Talk Spicy. Clearly, I'm down for the smoke. But I'm feeling more and more like within that, you have to recognize when what you're saying or what you're doing and how it affects others causes nothing but negativity. Right? So I look through Twitter and like many of you, I'm on Twitter all day. I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm on, all of the social media apps. I'm a product of this world. My phone is a part of me. That's why I don't get mad at my students. When my students have their phones, I just get mad when they don't know how to put it down for the second when I'm trying to show them something legitimate. I'll be scrolling around Facebook and I'll see like people post things like, oh, well, I didn't come into work today. I didn't show up to work today. Everything will be okay, but didn't have it in me today or something like that. And I always wonder to myself, like, what's the line of what you should share and what you should not share? Is there a line? Because in my world, if I have something personal going on with me, it's really like plus or minus whether or not you guys will ever know about it. When my grandmother passed, I wanted to share that because I know in the times that we live in now, people are dealing with that loss. And I wanted to bring you in on it because I wanted you to know that I am just like all the rest of you. And that I have vulnerabilities and all of that stuff. And that was my cathartic moment. It was really an opportunity for me to share. But like, if something goes wrong at work, I don't really share that with you because that's my thing to deal with. If I don't get an interview that I want, I'll share another story real quick. I reached out to a local reporter to come on my podcast to talk about a topic. And I never heard back from them. Like, I reached out to them. I have had communication with them before. Whether they were busy or whether they just deemed it not, worth getting back to. I know that they're active on, all the socials. So I'm pretty positive they saw the message. Maybe they didn't. But for whatever reason, they didn't respond. And I didn't take it any type of way. I just went, oh, okay. And then I moved on with whatever else I was trying to do. See, not everybody has to know about the problems. Like, there was somebody used to say, well, social media, people only ever show you the triumphs or the wins. They don't show you the losses. And my question becomes, why do you want to see my losses? Like, why do you want to see someone's failures? Is it because it makes you feel better about your situation? Is it because it makes you feel better about what you're going through to see somebody else failing, to see someone else struggling? See, that's a part of transference that I'm not really a big fan of, because I think you don't have to share the successes or the failures. I think you can if you want. So if somebody wants to share all of their, all of the times they fall short, cool. If somebody wants to share things to gain sympathy, not really a big fan of that. If somebody wants to share things to try to turn people on someone else, I'm not really here for that either. because I believe that the way you think about the world shouldn't necessarily be the way other people think about the world. And that if we all started to bring just a little bit more, quality information into the space, then we would all be better for it. Instead of just dumping negativity into a space and now we have to weed through the negativity. Like the Cam Newton story really had me baffled. And it had me baffled because he clearly identified one particular sliver of people. He said what he didn't like about that one particular sliver of people. And then the populace ran with it and made it about everybody. They turned it into a blanket statement. That man never said that. He never alluded to that. And yet, that is what he had to deal with for the last couple of days. Now, again, he's Cam Newton. He doesn't give a damn about what you people think of him. He's rich, he's talented, and he's really good looking. When you're a rich, talented, really good looking dude, life ain't gonna be hard. Sorry. But to have to deal with that because people refuse to actually see or acknowledge what it is he really said and how he really said it is foolhardy. To me, that says the agenda was to make others feel a certain way about him. It wasn't to point out truth. It wasn't to enlighten. The entire situation was to make that man look bad. And guess what? It worked. Because the populace either fell on the side of victim or they fell on the side of panderer. And what we were left with was a bunch of tweets of people who hadn't let it be known that they felt this particular way about Cam Newton because of what he said in that 1.5-minute clip of a 2-hour podcast that he did where he said a whole bunch. People didn't even bother to go and go back to the podcast and listen to what came before and after the 1.5-minute clip. They literally took that clip and then ran with it. So now we've transferred the feelings of some onto many. And then the people who didn't feel that way, like me, like others, we had two options. We either had to shut up or we had to voice an opinion carefully crafted to make sure that we're letting these people know, hey, we understand what you think, but this is kind of what we believe. And even then, even with that careful, you still get killed. Because once those feelings are transferred onto others, it's hard to get them off, right? It's hard to wash off. It's like it's like when a skunk sprays you. If a skunk sprays you, you can't just go wash that off with your bath gel. You got to do some things. You got to go through some stuff. And that's the part. That's the part. That's the time when you really have to ask yourself, is it worth it? What did I really do? What did I help? How did I improve on the design? Or was my complete and total goal to just cause negativity? And if my complete goal was to cause negativity, then what are you here for? Some of the things that I just wonder about when I think about people and what people do. We can be so much better if we just aspire to do so. And it's not like overnight. We just have to make one little thing better. Just because you don't like a player doesn't mean that player isn't good or doesn't have worth. That player just may not be the player for you. There's no reason to make other people hate the player as well. Now, if you legitimately think this person can't play, produce some facts. Produce facts, right? Because people just didn't like Dwayne Haskins for whatever reason. But every time we ask them to produce the facts of why he's bad, people pointed to things that other quarterbacks have been able to learn from. Go, you know what? I have a homework assignment for you. Do this. Go and look at Josh Allen's first full 17 games. Then go and look at Dwayne Haskins' first full 17 games. Then watch the way Josh Allen was treated and watch the way Dwayne Haskins was treated. And you tell me that those two things were equal. You tell me those two things were equal. I guarantee you they were not. And I'm not saying that someone's gone, because I'm saying that the way we treat people once they're gone, you don't have a chance to get it back. And all the people who came in on the back end trying to transfer those feelings to others, guess what? It's too late. Because we knew what you thought of them in the moment. It's just something to think about when we're thinking about how we need to go about life, what we need to do in order to be better. I'm not saying you can't get angry at people. I'm not saying you can't be blowed. Of course you can. But with the time and the place for everything, we can be better about how we communicate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. We're heading towards 3,000. That's the goal by May. Until next time, peace.